see how this works. I got my gimbal and I'm going over here to my fruit and root plot. The cucumber has already basically pulled my fence off, but it's okay because we're done with cucumbers. They did all they needed to do. Well, this elderberry is going nuts. The blueberry over here took root and it's doing fine. The cherry tree in the background is doing fine. It's battling the rust that's out here these days. Forsythia, I planted that from a green stick, I guess about a year ago, and it decided it wanted to become a tree, so there it is. Down there at the bottom where I'm pointing, there's just a tiny little bit of grass, and over there, I gotta yank them out. You can see here, we've got some shotgun fungus. Y'all see those little tiny little things? Oh yeah, artillery fungus, you know, whatever you want to call it. Got some marigold over there, some tomatoes that are here. But I want to go on the other side and I want to look at this garlic because I've actually got to take a rake over there with me. We're going to cover it up because, well, this is when we plant our garlic in the south. So, strawberries, yeah, they're here too. Got some flowers. And there's that marigold from the other side. If you look through here, you can even see I planted cucumber for next year. See that big cucumber on the ground behind that leaf? That's for next year. And here you go. I basically produced these 4 troughs right in the wood chips. You can see all of the little skins from the garlic just kind of sitting there. The troughs are about 3, maybe 4 inches deep. There's kind of ants climbing all over the place. And what I'm going to do here is I'm going to show you. See that? That's the top of the clove, and the roots grow from down there. So we want to face this properly. We want to put it down just like that. Give them about 3 inches of space. Okay? And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull these chips and composted soils this way to cover them up. But before I do that, I got to put some compost tea on there. Okay, so we're going to show you how to do that real quick. All right, so we're over here by my compost tea area. This is where I'm making my compost tea at the moment. There's my air pump. It's a pretty good one. And what I want to show you is how I actually collect the liquid compost tea. This is just a regular old milk jug. You know, we know it's food grade, it's food safe. It's got a little opening cut into it there. You can kind of see the shadow line. And I've got it covered with what really amounts to basically a large paint strainer. Pretty fine mesh. And I do this because I want to actually keep some of the, whatever the larger particulate matter that's blowing around in the compost tea, I want to keep it out. I'm going to enter this into the vessel right here, which you'll see here in a second, and then I'll turn it over and pour it from here into here. If I wasn't using a watering jug, I might be using something like a pressure sprayer. There's a large pump pressure sprayer here, down below. I use that for, you know, large applications just because it's so much easier. But in any event, this is where all the stuff is sort of collected and hangs out. So I'm just going to toss the lid here to open it up. Y'all can see it's nice chocolate brown, plenty of bubbles. We're just going to put this in there until it fills up. Once it fills up, tip it on its back so the fluid stays in it. We'll just go over here and pour it in. I'll do this like, I don't know, 2 or 3 times, and that's going to be enough to take care of that plot. And while I'm doing this, I guess I can talk to you and tell you why I do this. I do this because it's a long-standing belief of mine that when we get seeds, fruits and vegetables and things like that, more often than not, they've been subjected to some sort of a sterilization process. The microbes don't always convey. I mean, they may sometimes, but they certainly don't always. What this allows me to do is it allows me to use locally obtained versions of similar microbes, microbes that I know that work to grow my own plants. And this means that my stuff is going to essentially be fortified. So, you know, there's some very important physiological processes that happen to a seed, and it just doesn't happen the same way to a sterilized seed. I'm going to go ahead and cover this up again. Cover up my motor right there so the rain that we're getting in this tropical storm doesn't get on it. Using this tarp allows it to still breathe and it won't get too overly hot. I'm in a protected area right here where the wind isn't exactly coming through. So I have some reasonable assurance that this is going to be fine. But anyway, let's take a walk over and go back to our plot and finish this off. All right, so here we are. Hopefully I can do this without getting too soaking wet. It's raining right now. And all we're going to do is use this as the first form of hydration. Of course, I'm going to turn around and the rain is going to be it's going to be truly the first form of hydration. And that's okay, because we want that. And he's saying pour it over the top of that strawberry plant. It's fine. It's just fine. And once I've got everything reasonably drenched, I'm going to go ahead and grab my rake. Okay? I didn't turn anything over. I didn't cause it to be washed around in the soil. And now I'm just going to use the back of my rake here to gently pull that soil back over the top. You know, the rake is super effective because it's wide. And I can pretty much do all of these rows really fast. Y'all can hear my frogs, toads, whatever they are. I love doing this time of the year. You know, I mean, as long as we've been doing it at this time of the year, our garlic yields getting bigger and bigger and bigger. All right, so let's talk about why I use the back edge of the rake. I use the back edge of the rake because I don't want the tines to fall down into the hole and then, you know, make a mess of things. I don't want them to turn the garlic over. I need the garlic to be staying just like it is. We've got some roots that we pulled up before, but that's okay. It's fine. Everything here is going to find its way. And so there you have it. Now we're completely covered up. I don't feel the need to tamp any of this down, but those of you that have some different soil textures, I can tell you it's okay to do a little light back tamping. Later on, what I'll do is I'll delineate this area with some pieces of white PVC so that my guests, when they come here to check out the garden, they don't step on this area. Probably within the next few days, I'm going to start to see some of their green leaves come up, you know, and it'll make it easier to determine where they are. But on the whole, there you have it. In a nutshell, that is completed. And what I can say is I've got a little bit of compost tea left. Rather than let it go to waste, I'll just go ahead and pour it over the plot. If we see anything like grasses or weeds coming up, you know, we'll be sure to pull them out. I did not add any fertilizer. I don't need to add any fertilizer. This is exactly where we took our garlic from last year. And the reason I'm not going to put any fertilizer on is because I've got so much compost over there that when I clear out this bed of all of its, you know, old and senesced summer plants, I'm going to put compost over the top of the ground here. And all winter long, that compost is going to drip compost tea down there into the roots of that garlic. When it gets cold, they'll stratify, they'll start to split, and I'm fairly certain that, you know, I'll get bigger garlic than what I put in the ground. I mean, as a matter of fact, I know that I will. They were organic garlics, and what I'll do is I'll leave a note in the comments to which garlic we used this year. You are welcome to give it a try yourselves. So, peace to everyone, and may God be with you. If you found any value or tidbits in my little video here, please feel free to share it with those you love. Like it, and subscribe to the channel. God bless.